What's going on, everyone? Nuclear Ninjas here, and today we have a crazy team in the Little Jungle Cup. In fact, I think I might be one of the only people to have this team because I built a Volibee and a Mandibuzz for Little Cup. The reason almost no one has these is because eggs hatch at level 20 and Volibee is above 500 CP at level 20. However, there is a way to get these Pokemon at lower levels. If a player is a lower level, say level 9, they will hatch eggs with Pokemon at level 9. Ever since the first Little Cup, I've been tracking down unusual Pokemon that are only available from eggs, raids, and quests, and collecting them at lower levels every chance I get. I'm running this team as an ABB team with Volibee and Mandibuzz in the back, with Scoruppy in the front. The theory behind this team was to bait out a Cottony and then hard farm down with Scoruppy, flipping the mid-game around with a huge energy lead and closing with Mandibuzz once the hard counter was out of the way. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, I didn't run into a lot of Cottony with the sets I played with this team, but I was still able to go about 50-50 overall, and it was a ton of fun, especially just imagining how my opponents reacted when they saw Mandibuzz. With all that said, let's get into the battles. So I pick up my first battle against Caldan34, and obviously we're leading Scoruppy into Vigoroth. So this is a fairly positive lead, but my opponent switches out right away, and we have Volibee with Air Slash to counter Scoruppy. So this is pretty comfortable. We can tank 2 moves from Scoruppy in this matchup, not really that big of a deal. And I'm not sure, I don't think we can quite farm all the way down, unfortunately. But still going to be pretty comfortable. I'm just going to farm up a little bit more and then throw the foul play before they get to a third move. If they want a shield, I can just farm down and come out with a move loaded and even shields. If they don't shield, actually, can I farm down here? This is going to be close. Pretty sure I can farm down here because I'm pretty sure he threw right away. Now, I make a bit of a bad call here, if I remember correctly, in that I try to go for the Brave Bird, and the Vigoroth, unfortunately, is probably going to be able to, snipe me with 2 counters, so I should have just thrown the foul play there. Mistake on my part. But we bring in the Scoruppy, and we've still got Scoruppy onto Vigoroth, which is a pretty comfortable matchup, so I'm not overly worried. We're still in a fairly neutral, slightly advantageous position here. So we hit the Vigoroth with a Cross Poison, and we are going to significantly outspam this thing. He makes a very nice catch onto the Skarmory with this Cross Poison. But we've got Mandibuzz for Skarmory, and this is a fairly even matchup. It's a Shadow Skarmory, apparently. This is a fairly even matchup, like I said, except Mandibuzz significantly outfarms or outspams the Skarmory. It just gets to its charge move so much faster. So we're going to farm up overfarm quite a bit and throw our first foul play. We get the shield. I'm able to throw another Snarl, so I have some energy banked before I even get to my next foul play, or before I throw the next foul play, and then the Vigoroth comes back in, and we're able to get to another foul play and take the win with Mandibuzz as a closer. So already you can pretty much tell Mandibuzz is going to be solid in this league, which isn't a surprise to anyone. Mandibuzz is solid in every league where it has the CP to compete. So solid showing for Mandibuzz right at the beginning there. And you can tell I stopped recording for a couple minutes in there. I don't remember exactly what happened, but the time only skips like 5 minutes. It is all one continuous set. Anyway, picking up our next match, I completely missed the name right there. Sorry about that. And we pick up a negative lead this time, so we're going to swap into Volibee, and this is the match where we get a Cottony to come out. We don't quite get to the Brave Bird, but now Scoruppy comes in, and this Cottony can't really do anything to me. Scoruppy resists the charms, double resists all the charge moves, so we don't even have to shield, even though this is Little Cup. And I'm able to farm all the way down and come out of that with 90 energy, which means whatever he brings in now, yes, he doesn't even want to bring the Fletchinder into that because he knows he's just going to get wrecked with Aqua Tails. So we're going to just start spamming out all of these Aqua Tails right here onto this Wooper. And this is either going to force a shield or the Wooper is just going to go completely down and we're going to play out the 2-shield against Fletchinder. Alright, so we get the shield with the Aqua Tail. At this point, I'm going to swap into Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is fairly thick, even in Little Cup. So I'm just like, okay, sure, body slam me. Now we just need to get to 2 foul plays against this Fletchinder, one to get the shield, the other to KO. And we are looking great. I have 2 shields left, so at this point I can shield anything. I think the only reason my opponent's throwing, their win con here is quick move damage, but I don't think that's even possible. They're throwing because they want to boost their attack with a flame charge anyway. So foul play comes through, takes out the Fletchender. The Wooper comes back in, and at this point my opponent concedes the match. Picking my next match against Fletch, I don't know exactly how to pronounce that. Fletch anyway. And we pick up a Swine Up lead. Now, this is a tricky one because it's not a super great matchup for score uppy, but it's also terrible for my back line, so I pretty much just have to stay in here and go for Aqua Tails. The good news is we do out-spam Swine Up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and shield this. It could be an Icy Wind, but I mean, honestly, if you're the Swine Up in this matchup, I would recommend just going for Body Slam because Aqua Tail is going to be a 2-hit KO, even if you hit me with an Icy Wind. So debuffing the attack doesn't really help you there. Now at this point, I decide I can survive this, so I let this go and get off the Aqua Tail right before I'm KO'd, which means I'm either going to take shield or switch here. I take switch, and more importantly, the Swine Up is down, which I really need to get that Swine Up out of the way because obviously it would have torn through my back line if the opponent had shielded there. I'm sure the opponent is going to end up kicking themselves for not shielding that. Anyway, we're able to get to a foul play with Mandibuzz, and then I think after this I make an aggressive swap to Volibee because I don't want to stick around while I'm debuffed. And we actually are able to snipe the Shadow Golbat with 1 Air Slash, and there's a score uppy in the back, and that's GG. Because, obviously, I mean, you saw how much these Air Slashes do in the previous matchup. There's nothing the score uppy can do about this. They get the boost. Okay, maybe there's something they can do about this. This just got really interesting because now the second Cross Poison would KO if they got it off. And I actually am not going to be able to get to my next foul play before the opponent gets off another Cross Poison. Now, the good news is the opponent is extremely low at this point, so I'm pretty sure I just come back in and snarl down with Mandibuzz, but the boost definitely scared me right when the opponent got it because, like, right there you saw it took 3 snarls to get them down. They were at the Cross Poison. They just died right before they could throw it. Like, they died simultaneously with reaching the Cross Poison and throwing it. So that battle came down to a single turn. If they got into the Cross Poison 1 turn sooner, they win that. Moving into my next matchup against Joey Can. Well, let's find out if Joey can win this battle. Haha, badum-ksh. Anyway, picking up a G-Fisk lead. This is a fairly straightforward one. Apparently G-Fisk wins the CMP tie over Score Uppy, which, I mean, Wallower mentioned that in one of his videos. That's a well-known thing. That wasn't a fluke as far as I'm aware. But I was surprised by it at the time because I just kind of assumed G-Fisk was going to lose CMP to most things, especially something like a Score Uppy, because obviously I know Drapion beats him. And then I'm tripping out here because I don't really have a great way to deal with that G-Fisk. So I make an aggressive swap to Volibee, hoping to maybe preserve the Score Uppy before it gets to a Rock Slide. And the opponent counter swaps Ducklet, which this is fine with me, honestly, because I don't want the Ducklet on Score Uppy. So this is better for me than if they had just save the Ducklet or whatever. Anyway, Bubble Beam comes through, then they go for the Brave Bird on the second one, and now this Ducklet is severely debuffed, so I'm like, okay, I can take some wing attacks and then just throw this Cross Poison right as they get to the Bubble Beam, forcing a CMP tie. I doubt they're going to bother to shield this, and at this point, I'm expecting the G-Fisk to just come in and throw right away, sniping me. But I'm like, you know what, he's got 1 HP, I'm just going to let this go and let it all up to Mandibuzz at the end. And there's a Pikachu Libre in the back, and this is very sketchy. The good news is there's such a difference in terms of tankiness and bulkiness between these two Pokemon. Mandibuzz has a chance here. Not quite. I was like 1 turn away. I could have gotten off the double foul plays, but even then I was at 1 HP, so I'm pretty sure the G-Fisk could have sniped me with a Mud Shot before the Snarl damage went through. Very good call on my opponent blind switching, because if they let me get the Snarl through on G-Fisk before swapping to Pikachu, I could have won that. So another extremely close battle that just didn't quite work out, and I'm still commentating the previous battle when this one starts. So picking up a negative lead in Wooper, which is fine. It's an ABB team, so we just swapped to Volibee. And the opponent goes to Nidoran, which is not a strong answer to Volibee, so I'm feeling pretty good about this one, and Mandibuzz is probably going to have a decent matchup in the back, right? Spoilers. Anyway, so we get a shield with the foul play, and I'm completely content to just let Volibee go down here. I'm feeling comfortable to just save shields from Mandibuzz and shred everything. And the opponent is either going to have to double shield or throw here. They don't throw, so we get the second shield, and now this Nidoran is loaded on energy. Scorupi comes out. I figure I can probably comfortably tank a move from the Nidoran, and the Poison Stings aren't going to add up, and the opponent actually goes for the Poison Fang to get the debuff. I don't know if they were predicting me to shield there, but in any case, it wasn't even so much calling the bait. I was fine with getting hit by a Body Slam. So we farm up a bit extra here and take out the Nidoran with an Aqua Tail, and I'm expecting them to come right back in with their Wooper, so I'm already hitting the Mandibuzz, just like, okay, swapping. And they insta-swap counter to a Cottony that for some reason didn't come out against the Volibee. This is kind of sketchy, but what you're about to see here is Mandibuzz can take 6 charms, and because I snuck some energy in before they were able to swap to their Cottony, we get to the second Aerial Ace, take out the Cottony. Mudshots deal 1 damage each to Mandibuzz, so we're going to be able to get to some moves here despite how low our HP is, and we still have both shields. So I shield up the Body Slam, get off the foul play, and this isn't necessarily quite going to KO, but it's pretty much GG at this point. The opponent is not quite able to farm down, which would have been their win con, and we get to another foul play and take out the Wooper. Mandibuzz cleaning up endgame. So moving on into our rewards here, we have a 4-1 set at and we get a shiny Azelf as a bonus. Now, here I was like, oh god, shiny Azelf. I mean, shiny Azelf is cool, so I don't mind this necessarily, but it is really annoying to try and catch this thing. But we get it second ball, so not only did I get a shiny Azelf, I didn't even have to waste 10 years of my life catching it. And then picking up our rating change, we go up to 2587. Normally at this point in the video, I'd talk about whether you should run this Pokemon or this team, but I'm not sure how applicable that is with the difficulty of obtaining all these Pokemon. One thing I definitely won't tell you to do is to make an ult at a low level and collect 12k eggs to trade to yourself, because that would be breaking terms of service, which is a bad thing that you should not do. That said, if you somehow get a hold of one of these Pokemon through totally legit and not at all cheating methods, Mandibuzz is a strong Pokemon that wins a lot of neutral matchups, and you even saw what it can do to Cottony with a small energy lead. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike if you hated it, comment any thoughts below, and subscribe if you want to see more like this in the future.